Always somebody else's fault. It's never JJ Redick's fault. It's never, and did I see LeBron James pouting all game long? Did I see the bad body language from LeBron? Absolutely. Did I see him not putting forth the defensive effort? Did I see your best player, your franchise player, Luka Doncic, complaining after every single call? You damn right I did. But JJ, why don't they care?
Right now, and that's the part that bothers you a lot. We don't care enough to do the things that are necessary. We don't care enough to be a professional. It's a matter of making the choice. And too often we have guys that don't want to make that choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are. And so Saturday practice, I told the guys, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Has to hold himself accountable, because there's only so many times throughout the course of the season that a head coach can continue to call out his team. We have
another 53 games like this.
On Christmas Day, the Lakers were crushed by the Houston Rockets. Not just beaten, embarrassed. The final score was 119-96, and it wasn't even that close. That IT was the worst Christmas loss of LeBron James' entire career. Think about that. LeBron has played more Christmas games than most fans have watched. He's a four-time champion and one of the greatest players ever. Yet this was his worst Christmas showing. Then things got heated. Kendrick Perkins didn't hold back. What he said shocked Lakers fans, LeBron supporters, and analysts everywhere. The big question suddenly became, are the Lakers actually better without LeBron James? To understand why this came up, look back at the start of the season. LeBron wasn't playing regularly, and the Lakers were winning. The offense moved better. The defense played harder. People praised JJ Redick and talked about the Lakers being a real threat in the West. Then something changed, and everything started falling apart. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about disrespecting LeBron. No one is denying his greatness or what he's done for the game. But this isn't a fairy tale. It's about what's happening on the court right now. And right now, it's a mess.
LeBron James pouting all game long. Did I see the bad body language from LeBron? Absolutely. Did I see him not putting forth the defensive effort and getting back in transition, only having 2 rebounds last night in the game when you know a team loves to pound the glass and grab offensive rebounds?
2 rebounds. Just 2. Against a Houston team that lives on offensive rebounds and second chance points. For a player with LeBron's size, IQ, and experience, that's not just bad. It's unacceptable. That's a veteran mentally checking out, and it didn't stop there. The body language was awful. The pouting, the slow jogs back on defense. These aren't things that show up in the box score, but they matter. These are leadership failures. Moments where the best player on the team is actually hurting their chances to win. JJ Redick saw it too. After the game, he didn't sugarcoat anything. He tore into his own team, something you rarely see from a first-year head coach.
Because we don't care enough right now. And that's the part that bothers you a lot. We don't care enough to do the things that are necessary. We don't care enough to be a professional.
That's your head coach publicly saying his team didn't care enough to act professional on Christmas Day after losing by 23 points. That's not coach talk. That's not media training. That's a coach who's fed up and at his breaking point.
It's a matter of making the choice. And too often we have guys that don't want to make that choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are.
Read between the lines. JJ knows exactly who the problem is. He's not calling anyone out by name, but he doesn't have to. We all watched the same game. We saw the lack of effort, the slow jogs on defense, and the stars disappearing when it mattered. And this is where Kendrick Perkins really turns up the heat. While JJ keeps things general, Perk says what everyone is thinking but won't say out loud. Why doesn't JJ call out LeBron by name?
It's always somebody else's fault. It's never JJ Redick's fault. It's never...
And this is the real problem with the Lakers. Accountability only goes one way. JJ can talk about players not caring, about a lack of professionalism, and about uncomfortable team meetings. But until he looks his best player in the eye and says, "You're part of the problem," nothing changes. Nothing. The numbers back it up. The Lakers are 19-10, which sounds fine at first. But here's the truth. All 10 losses have been by double digits. Their average loss is over 18 points. The only team losing by more is the Washington Wizards, the worst team in the NBA. That's not competitive basketball. That's not a team close to figuring things out. That's a team with serious, deep problems that show up every time they play real competition. And look at Houston. They're young, hungry, and had lost their previous 2 games heading into Christmas. They were supposed to be vulnerable. Instead, they dominated from start to finish. They never trailed once. Amen Thompson led the game with 26 points. The Rockets played fast, focused, and with purpose, everything the Lakers didn't. Monica McNutt tried to add some perspective, but the damage was already done.
I agree. Everybody has to be looked at when it comes to this Lakers organization, but the reality of it to me is that the league is changing over, and right now they're just not built to continue to keep up.
Monica talked about how the league is getting younger and how teams like Houston, OKC, and the Spurs are built differently than these aging Lakers. And she wasn't wrong, but Kendrick Perkins wasn't buying it.
Both of these teams the Rockets and the Lakers both walked into this Christmas Day game struggling. The Rockets had lost their last 2. They were struggling to find their.
His point was simple. This wasn't about running into a powerhouse team. This was a struggling opponent, and the Lakers still got run off the floor. There's no excuse for that. Not with this much talent. Not for a team that claims to be chasing a championship. The disconnect is obvious. JJ Redick knows basketball. Everyone knows that. He played 15 years in the league, has been around greatness, and understands a game at a high level. So what's the real problem?
And it gotta be that he doesn't have the ears of that locker room. Because if he did, then we wouldn't be having these conversations.
And that's the bomb Perk just dropped. JJ doesn't have the locker room. The players aren't listening, or worse, they're listening but don't respect it enough to actually do it on the court.
Always look at a team that play with effort, that play hard defensively. Even though we know that they're lacking the personnel, they still not putting forth the effort.
Think about what that really means. This is the 5th or 6th time this season that JJ has publicly criticized his team's effort and focus. And the season isn't even halfway over. That's not normal. That's not sustainable. That's a coach losing control in real time. And then there's the elephant in the room, LeBron James. He's untouchable in that locker room. He's the face of the franchise, the legend, the guy who delivered a championship. JJ can't call him out the way he needs to, not publicly, and probably not privately either. Because if LeBron decides JJ isn't the guy, it's JJ who's gone, not LeBron. That's the reality when you're coaching a superstar of that level. You can talk about accountability all you want, but when your best player sets the tone with bad body language and low effort, what can you really do? Remember how the season started. The Lakers were winning. The ball was moving. Players had energy. Everyone shared responsibility, and it showed in the results. Now the losses are stacking up, always by double digits, always ugly. The offense stalls, the pace slows, the defense relaxes, and everyone can see it happening in real time.